This video is sponsored by Dashlane. Check out the link in the description to find out how you can start using Dashlane for free and get 10% off premium. Hey, what's going on everyone? Greg here, and the iPhone 11 and iPhone 11 Pro have been out for a little while now, so I wanted to go over some tips and tricks that I've discovered while using both the iPhone 11 and iPhone 11 Pro. Now, even though some of these tips might be exclusive to the iPhone 11 or iPhone 11 Pro series, there are also a few tips in here that will work with any iPhone running iOS 13, so even if you don't have an iPhone 11, you still might learn a useful tip or trick out of this video. Okay, for this first tip, the iPhone 11 and iPhone 11 Pro are actually losing a feature that was found on previous iPhones as old as the iPhone 6s. Of course, I am referring to the 3D Touch functionality. So if you picked up an iPhone 11 or an iPhone 11 Pro, you probably noticed that 3D Touch isn't there anymore. However, now Apple does support an advanced version of Haptic Touch, which works pretty similar to the old functions of 3D Touch. To activate this, just long press on an icon on the home screen and you'll feel a haptic vibration under your finger. Once you do, release your finger and you'll see the same quick actions that you used to get from 3D Touch. You can also use this on other areas like Control Center, and you can now even use Haptic Touch to access quick settings for Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. You can also use Haptic Touch to imitate the peek and pop functionality of 3D Touch on links. All you have to do is long press on the link and then you'll see a quick preview of the link along with some quick actions, and if you press on the preview, you'll get access to the full web page. Now, because of the removal of 3D Touch and the addition of Haptic Touch now requiring a long press, you might also be upset on how long it takes for you to rearrange icons on your home screen. Because if you do it the traditional way, you have to press and hold, wait for Haptic Touch, then wait for the options menu where you could select rearrange apps, or just keep holding until you activate the old wiggle mode. However, there is a faster way to do this. Simply long press on the icon, and as soon as you feel the haptic feedback, start dragging your finger and you will instantly enter that wiggle mode so you can rearrange your icons instantly or delete apps quickly. Now, these next two tips are some of my favorite on the iPhone 11. So again, the loss of 3D Touch means that you can no longer access 3D Touch on the keyboard by 3D pressing the keyboard to move the cursor and use your iPhone's keyboard as a mini trackpad. But don't fret, there's a new way to activate this on the iPhone 11. All you have to do is now long press on the spacebar and you'll feel a vibration and see the keys disappear from your keyboard. This enters you into the trackpad mode on your iPhone so you can freely move around the cursor. This is a really handy trick, especially when you're trying to put the text cursor in a very specific location, especially when you misspell a word. But wait, there's more. Not only can you move the keyboard as a trackpad to move the cursor, but you can also select text as well. To do this, simply long press on the spacebar like before, and then when you are ready to select the text, just tap on any other part of the keyboard and you will enter the text selection mode. Now, when you drag your finger along the keyboard, you can quickly select text without ever having to move your finger off the keyboard. So one of the new features on the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Pro is actually one that Apple really didn't cover well in their keynote. And it's actually a dedicated hardware chip called the U1 chip that allows for better indoor positioning and tracking. Right now, you can use this in Apple's Airdrop feature. If there's multiple iPhone 11 or iPhone 11 Pros in the room, all you have to do is point your iPhone at that device you want to airdrop to, and it will move to the front of the airdrop list. Right now, this only works with the latest iPhone 11 and iPhone 11 Pro, as they are the only new Apple devices that currently have the U1 chip. But I imagine that will change soon as Apple adds more U1 devices in the future. Okay, one of the best new features about the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Pro is of course the stellar cameras on these devices. So let's go over some tips and tricks for those cameras. So one of the biggest pains before iOS 13.2 was the inability to change the video resolution or frame rate inside of Apple's camera app. Before, you would have to go to settings, go to camera, and then change those settings. It was not the best experience and a huge pain if you want to change the settings on the fly. Well, now, thankfully, in iOS 13.2, Apple added a quicker way to change these settings. Now, when you're recording a video on the iPhone 11, you'll see the resolution and frame rate numbers in the top right of the iPhone's display. Just tap on either the resolution to switch between 1080p and 4K, or tap on the frame rate to switch between 24, 30, or 60 frames per second. This might seem like a small little change, but trust me, it saves a lot of time if you want access to these settings. Speaking of tips, one of the most important tips is to use a strong password with every account you create, which is why you should be using a password manager like our sponsor for this video, Dashlane. Dashlane is a password manager that stores your passwords in a secure and encrypted vault, so your passwords and data are only available to you. Dashlane will automatically generate secure passwords for your account and works with Apple's built-in Touch ID and Face ID to automatically fill in your passwords for websites and apps, so you never have to fill them in manually across all your devices. So your computer and iPhone passwords are all in the same place. And you can store other sensitive information like addresses, secure notes, IDs, and even payment information to make online checkouts a breeze. Listen, we all have so many accounts, and if you're using the same password over and over, you're putting yourself at increased risk anytime there is a data breach, so you need a strong password manager to keep all of your accounts safe. Furthermore, Dashlane even provides dark web monitoring, which scans the web for any leaked or stolen personal data and alerts you when necessary. And on top of that, Dashlane also provides a VPN so you can browse the internet securely and privately. Dashlane also works on all platforms, whether you're using iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, Safari, Chrome, and even Linux, so your passwords are accessible to you no matter what device you use. So try Dashlane for free on your first device by heading to dashlane.com/gadgets, then to get 10% off premium, use the code GADGETS. So be sure to check out our sponsor for this video, Dashlane, and thank you so much to Dashlane for sponsoring this video. Okay, this next tip is exclusive to the iPhone 11 Pro, so sorry iPhone 11 users. And that is the ability to change between portrait mode zoom on the iPhone 11 Pro. So before on the iPhone XS, there was only the option to use the 2x camera to enable portrait mode. Now on the iPhone 11 Pro, thanks to its brand new triple lens system, Apple gives you the ability to change this. On the bottom left, you'll see a button that says 2x. Simply press that and it changes it to the 1x portrait mode, which gives you a wider angle field of view. Press it again if you want to switch back to the 2x lens for a closer perspective. This is great because it gives you a lot of versatility when taking portrait mode shots, and unlike last year's iPhone XR, the wide-angle version of portrait mode in the iPhone 11 Pro supports the same exact studio lighting settings as the 2x portrait mode. And it has support for pets and objects as well. Usually when we take our iPhones out of our pocket, it's to snap a photo of something very quickly. Well, what if you wanted to take a video instead? Well, now on the iPhone 11, you can get quick access to videos even when you're in the photo mode. To start recording video, all you have to do is long press on the shutter button and it will instantly start taking video. When you're done, just simply lift your finger up and you will stop recording. This is a great way to capture those really quick moments that anyone with pets or small kids will easily understand how important this is. But hey, what if you started capturing video of something important and you want to keep recording, but you don't want to have your finger placed there the entire time? Well, simply enter the quick take video mode like last time, but this time, slide your finger to the right. You'll see a nice little animation, and once you slide the record button all the way to the right, it locks into the video recording mode so you can safely remove your finger and get right back to recording the action. Another really great benefit that's enabled by default when recording these quick take videos is that they also support a feature called video capture outside the frame. What this does is anytime you record a quick take video, the ultra wide angle lens on the iPhone 11 or iPhone 11 Pro will also be recording the video as well. That way, if you accidentally cut someone or something out of frame, you can get that data back with the ultra wide angle lens. To access this, go to the Photos app, look at your videos, and if the video captured something outside of the frame, you'll see this icon in the top right with a square and a star. Now to access this additional data, tap on Edit, then tap on the Crop tool, then tap the top right again, and you'll see the option to use content outside the frame. And you can see once we select that, all of a sudden we get a much wider angle field of view because not only was the iPhone recording with the wide angle lens, but it was also using the ultra wide angle lens. Now we can use this footage or go in and crop some more to recompose the shot. Although this feature is enabled by default, if you want to disable it, just go to the settings, camera, and turn off video capture outside the frame. Now while in those settings, you might have saw another setting that's turned off by default. This one's called photos captured outside the frame. This works very similarly to videos captured outside the frame, but is disabled by default on the iPhone 11. The reason for this is because if you turn this on, you lose access to Apple's new Deep Fusion feature, which helps enhance detail in low to medium light situations. But if you don't care about Deep Fusion, or you're planning on shooting in a really bright area where Deep Fusion won't be applied, you can enable photo capture outside of the frame. Again, this makes the iPhone 11 take a normal wide-angle photo and an ultra-wide-angle photo at the same time, so you can go back and recapture data in case you accidentally misframed your shot. For example, like you cut someone out of the picture. To access this feature, again, go to Photos. If your photo captured something outside of the frame, you'll see that icon again. Tap Edit, tap on the crop tool, tap on the top right, and then select Use Content Outside the Frame. And then you instantly see the ultra wide angle version of this photo. Now for privacy and space reasons, both photos and videos recorded outside of the frame will be deleted after 30 days if you don't go into a specific photo or video and use this feature. Honestly, Deep Fusion can get you some amazing results, but again, if you're really not seeing the difference, or if you're in a lighting environment where Deep Fusion isn't going to be applied, capturing photos outside of the frame is a really cool feature. And with the quick take videos, you don't have to worry about Deep Fusion, so you can use this feature without worrying about any loss in quality. Again, I just think this feature is really cool because there are plenty of times where I have taken photos and especially videos where I really misframed something and I wish I had just a little extra headroom, and this feature would have been really useful for those situations. Alright everyone, and that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you learned something new. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments below, and also of course be sure to let me know what your favorite tip or trick for this video was in the comments below. Also, don't forget to check out our sponsor for this video, Dashlane, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care everyone.